Well, here we go again. We're going to find out which cartoon movie is better once and for all. The original Spongebob Squarepants movie versus the Wild House movie. Okay, well, some of you guys already know the answer to that question. In my top 10 best cartoon movie rankings, if you haven't watched it, go check that out. Oh, and don't worry, guys. I'm going to continue the Wild House versus SpongeBob SquarePants fight prediction. I see that you guys had voted that We So Loud Robot would win. So yeah, don't worry, I'm still going to make a part 3 by tomorrow or next week. Oh, and the multiverse music battle, Patrick Star and Lenny Loud is still worked on. So I guess this video would be coming out in November. And one last thing, I am turning 19 tomorrow, so wish me happy birthday in the comments down below. Anyway, let's get started. Story plot. In a plot of the Wild House movie, Lincoln was helping his family for their activity, and right after his sisters wins all that trophy, Lincoln starts to get a realization that he is stuck under his sister's shadows, and leave him thinking that he's not special like his sisters. So Lincoln had a talk with Clyde, and Clyde told Lincoln that how he met Wilster from different state. So right after that talk, Lincoln has an idea of going somewhere to meet their ancestor. Well, Lynn Senior's family are not from Royalwood, so right after doing a DNA test, they find out that their ancestors are from Scotland. Well, they don't have enough money to go to Scotland, so they just did it in the old-fashioned way, sneaking into an airport with fake ID password, sneaking inside the plane, and then stop, taking a train and taking, well, everywhere. And then, asks for the lady in the submarine for help. And there they go. Now they're in Scotland. And that seems pretty simple. Maybe I should try this method. Oh wait, that means that jumping off the plane and using a parachute. Okay, never mind. Do not try this method, kids. Lori called Bobby, and then a misunderstanding happens. Well, Roni Yan appeared as a cameo, and she tells Bobby to go after Lori. And now I am really excited for the Casa Grande movie. So when they got to Scotland, well, people appears to recognize them for some reason. And it turns out they yoked just like their ancestor, and their ancestor was loyalty and walk loud. So they met Angus, and right after doing a 3 minutes long musical number, they got to the castle. And it looks rich and fancy. And they met Morag, the main villain that hates the Loud Flannelly. I mean, she seems evil when she acted nice when I first watched the movie. Anyway, Lincoln finds out that his ancestor is a duke. Right after discovering that his counterpart was the duke, he wants to be the duke to finally be special. And when Senior and Wanda has discovered a dragon, right after discovering the dragon, Lincoln got cocky and wears the Duke crown. Well, Morag does not like the idea of Lincoln becoming the new Duke. Will Lucy summon a ghost of her ancestor? And that was pretty unexpected, because this is the first time that Lucy used sorcery magic. So right after Lincoln proving himself he can help people, Lincoln convinces his Flannelly to stay in Scotland. Right after this 1-minute argument, they agree. And then Lincoln officially become the Duke, and the Loud Flannelly became loyalty and rich. Morag was pissed off. Well, meanwhile, Lucy's ancestor tells the story how the first Loud Flannelly died because of Morag ancestor, and Lucy don't trust Morag right after that. Well, meanwhile, while, Morag found some emerald, the same emerald that mind-controlled the dragon. Well, Morag overheard Lincoln's conversation with Clyde, and Morag knows Lincoln's weakness of being stuck under his shadows. So Morag now have come up with an evil plan to take advantage of Lincoln to get rid of the Wilds. So Morag interact with one of the Wild sisters to get them to show their talents to Scotland. And they actually did show their talent in Scotland, and Lincoln feels overwhelmed once again. And then Morag starts manipulating Lincoln. Morag tells Lincoln to ride a dragon. That way he can feel special once again. So Lincoln fall for it, and he actually did it. And that gives Morag a chance to control the dragon. And Lincoln ends up destroying everything. Morag manipulated the dragon, and she feed it to make it stronger and bigger and more terrifying. Well, Lincoln believed that he would never be special, so he gave up being the Duke. So they leave Scotland to go back to Royal Woods. Right after that, Morag claims to be the Duchess, and I get a Killmonger vibe from Morag. Will Angus speak up and point out that the Wilds never give Morag the crown? So Morag hands got force, and he brings the mind-controlled dragon, and now Morag owns Scotland. Lucy Ancestor told the Wilds that Morag has been taking over when they're gone. So Lincoln decided to go back to Scotland to make up for his mistakes. Morag was not happy that the Wilds come back. The Wild siblings battle against a dragon like it was nothing. And they're fighting a dragon with the help of Lincoln Wild's strategies. Lincoln got on the dragon, and Lincoln and Morag fights over the scepter, and Morag got the upper hand, and then they crash. Lincoln was seriously injured. And Morag, controlling the dragon, tries to kill them. Lincoln distracts Morag by making her go after the crown. Well, Lincoln was trapped in a dead end, so Lincoln defeat Morag with the help of Lily, and they destroyed the Emerald. Well, the final battle scene could have been better if Lincoln Loud just used the Emerald to transform into Super Lincoln Loud. That will be better and pretty cool. Right after defeating Morag, Lincoln becomes Duke once again, but Lincoln starts to have a realization that he's not worthy, and he is already special, like his sisters, all along. So Lincoln made Angus the Duke. Well, at first, he refused, but the Loud ancestor rejected it. Morag got banished, and so the Loud family left Scotland. And then Bobby showed up way too late at the end, and that was hilarious. And there's a post-credit scene where Clyde welcomed Lincoln back home. For the Spongebob Squarepants movie, well, Spongebob was having a unique dream about him being the bigger man, and it wasn't accurate, to be honest. Okay, so Spongebob was born in 1986, and the first Spongebob movie takes place exactly where the movie come out. So if you guys do the math, then you would know that Spongebob was 18 years old in this movie. And SpongeBob character development is about proving that he is more than just a kid. So it makes sense. Anyway, SpongeBob was getting ready for the opening of the Krusty Krabs 2, which it doesn't last long. Well, Plankton was pissed off that his rival gets a second restaurant, and all his evil plan failed, except for Plan C. Well, Squidward turns out to be the manager, but Mr. Krabs told SpongeBob that he didn't get the job because he is just a 18-year-old. And that might have hurt SpongeBob's feelings. Well, Plankton framed Mr. Krabs by stealing Neptune's crown. And right after SpongeBob and Patrick being drunk by sugar, SpongeBob comes to the Krusty Krabs to see Mr. Krabs being accused by Neptune. Well, SpongeBob tells Neptune that he will get his crown back from Shell City, but King Neptune estimated SpongeBob and called him a kid. And right after being convinced by his daughter, Neptune decides to give SpongeBob a chance. So SpongeBob and Patrick go on a quest to get King Neptune's crown. And while Mr. Krabs is frozen, Plankton steals the formula finally, and Mr. Krabs is just too frozen to stop him. During the adventure, SpongeBob and Patrick get their car stolen. Well, Plankton finally has a good restaurant. Well, Karen's warn Plankton that SpongeBob and Patrick are on their way to get the crown. So Plankton hired a bounty hunter to get rid of SpongeBob and Patrick during their adventures. Well, SpongeBob and Patrick stole their car back. Well, Squidward confronts Plankton, and Plankton starts mind controlling everyone. And Squidward can't not catch a break, man. SpongeBob and Patrick were traced by a monster that is a chain shipper, and they lost their car again. And everyone start making a meme out of this face. Well, SpongeBob starts giving up, and they face the fact that they're just kids. SpongeBob and Patrick finds out that Plankton has been taking over when they're gone. So because of that, they continued their adventures. Well, right after growing seaweed mustache. So they just did a 3 minutes long musical number through all these monsters, and then they interact with the bounty hunter, and they almost got killed, and then the Cyclops captured them. Well, SpongeBob and Patrick ends up in the real world, and they almost died from the heat. They got the crown and escaped from the Shell City store. So a human creditor gives SpongeBob and Patrick a ride back home. Well, the bounty hunter returns, And he got folded by two idiots once again. SpongeBob and Patrick rescued Mr. Krabs right on the make it time, and this guy just got injured. Well, Plankton was one step ahead of SpongeBob. He mind controls King's Neptune, and Plankton called SpongeBob a stupid kid. And then SpongeBob starts making a speech that he is more than just a kid because he has been through a lot of adventures. And then suddenly, he transforms into a rock star. And that was the most legendary scene. Well, SpongeBob powerful rock and roll put everyone out of mind control, and Plankton gets defeated. Well, SpongeBob has respect from King Neptune. In fact, SpongeBob gets all the respect that he deserves. And the movie ends with him being a manager now. Whew, man, I just literally told the whole story of both of these films. So, which movie is better? Well, the Wild House movie was a good movie, but the SpongeBob movie was pure cinema. Whilst the SpongeBob movie was fast-pacing, it was a 80 minutes kids film, and the fast-pacing doesn't work for me. Well, the Wild House movie got better pacing. The movie was an hour and a half, but it felt long. And the character development of Lincoln Wild being stuck in his sister's shadow was more emotional. But the SpongeBob movie was legendary comparing to Space Jam. And the SpongeBob movie felt more like a cartoon movie. I mean, back in my day, I used to enjoy it. Well, to be fair, Morag was the better villain. I mean, she tries to kill the Wild family, so she was more threatening. And Plankton just mind controlling people is not going to cut it. But the Wild House movie did have some annoying moments, with Lincoln Wild being cocky with his Duke ego, and SpongeBob was the better main character in this movie. I mean, he is the sponge that you would want to be with all day. Okay, it's time to come clean. The Wild House movie was a 7, not 7, a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 is not really that bad. And for Spongebob, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. The Wild House may pull up a good fight with their movies, but SpongeBob was more fun, and this movie was really good. And this film has made a lot of money in the box office. You see, told ya. The Wild House popularity may have beaten SpongeBob in ratings, but SpongeBob is one of the most recognizable character in the planet. So Spongebob can be better than the Wild House any day. The Wild House is just not as big as SpongeBob, if we have to admit. Well, if the Wild House actually start stepping up their game, they could actually keep up with SpongeBob in legacy. Okay, well sure, they have a live-action show, and that's okay. But SpongeBob has been around long enough, and the show is just too iconic. So the SpongeBob Squarepants movie and the show itself is better. So, what do you guys think? What do you think which cartoon movie is better? Tell me your own opinion.